Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're on the test server taking a look at Zinogre Blademaster, part of the Monster Hunter collab, who is going to be a fusion coming up, I believe, this Thursday. Now, before you decide if you're going to go for or skip the fusion, I want to give you all the best information that I can provide, and I want to know from you all what you want to see her or where you want to see her tested. Today, I'm going to be showing her in Fireknight. I'm going to be talking about some other areas that I believe she could be useful, some things you should be mindful of, and kind of to be honest about her kit. She is, I believe, pretty specialized, and maybe she can be used on your account, maybe not. She has some things in her kit that allows her to be very good in specific areas, I believe, but you may already have the stuff on your account to do that stuff, to be honest. So her A1 is a triple hitter that places weaken. Her A2 is a quad hitter that places increased speed, and her A3 places some debuffs. It's a quad hitter as well, places some nice debuffs, chance on the second and third, first and second hit. I'm not going to read all this stuff. You guys can read it if you want. She's in the game. Her passive is very interesting. She boosts her damage similar to Lior, so the less HP she has, the more damage she deals. It caps out at 50%. If the target's under decreased defense, it doubles the damage she deals. So if you're using like an unkillable clan boss team or some team where she can actually be fairly low HP, that could be very, very good, assuming she stays alive. And then her active effect works very well for Fireknight because it prevents her death if she hits at 1 HP. So when the Fireknight does the big slam, she can actually stay alive. She doesn't have to be built super tanky because she is an attack-based champion, so it's going to be kind of difficult to make her super tanky. She has okay base HP, but her defense is basically irrelevant. So I want to mention a few things to be mindful of before we jump into actually showcasing this Fireknight hard team that is using only free champions. So first up is Lady Mikage. She's a free champion who you guys hopefully will get eventually. Her A1 ability joins with a random Shadowkin faction champion. Zinogre Blademaster is a Shadowkin faction champion. So if you're using Lady Mikage in things like Fireknight and you maybe don't have a Shadowkin champion who has a triple hitter A1 ability, well, Zinogre Blademaster does have that triple hitter A1 ability that would be very good to join in with Lady Mikage, making essentially a 4x hitter against the Fireknight shield. So potentially something to look out for, potentially something to be mindful of there. Another thing to be mindful of is Plarium's been doing a lot of soul events after fusion. So Blizzard, we had an event where you could earn different levels of souls for him. You're probably going to be seeing a similar event to that with this champion right here. So say you were able to get a 4-star or even 5-star soul for this champion. Well, if you put something like Phantom Touch on that champion, you're going to have a 75% chance of inflicting bonus damage. Bonus damage does, in fact, do an extra hit to the Fireknight shield. Meaning, if breaking the Fireknight shield on stage 10, stage 6, whatever stage you were doing was a problem before, well, now it's not going to be a very big issue. So going for the high Soul Awakening, as well as future Lady Mikage summons, as well as Curse City potential stuff needing Shadowkin champions, all makes for a pretty decent argument that this champion may be worth you considering actually going for. Will she be game-changing? Possibly, if you're struggling with Fireknight, but for things like Hydra, things like Arena, I don't think she's going to be a massive impact there just because she is limited by single target only in her kit. And not a ton of areas in the game really focus around champions doing single target stuff only outside of Fireknight, Clan Boss, and now the Curse City. So first up, I want to show you stage 6. This is the only one that I built a team for because stage 10 is going to use a little bit more pay-to-win champions anyways. Still the Cardiel, the Martyr. Once I get Lady Mikage, though, I may actually try her with that. So this champion does bring a 30% speed aura in dungeons, which is huge. Very, very nice. I think it's the biggest one outside of Ray. I think Ray also has a 30% speed aura in dungeons, but outside of Ray, maybe it's 33%. Either way, 30% speed aura in dungeons is incredible. Ray is the highest outside of that, 33%. And since her, I don't think we've had anybody with that high of aura in dungeons. Very, very good. So this team right here is going to be a bit faster. This team right here is going to be a bit safer. So this team on the top, we have Mithrala. This is only using free champions. We have Lanathril, who could be really any ally attack champion, Lady Mikage, Cardiel, Farrakhan, anybody who does ally attack stuff that joins in with at least all the allies, like Kreela. You don't really want to use Kreela because Kreela only joins in with a few. So either somebody who joins in with the allies attack or somebody who just makes all the ally attacks should work perfectly fine. We have Yakarl, who's a free champion. Newt, who's a fusion. He is a real powerhouse as far as making this run go relatively fast. And then we have the fusion champion right here. She has no soul awakenings whatsoever on her, and she's just going to be contributing to breaking the Fireknight shield, boosting the turn meter essentially through having increased speed. So not necessarily boosting turn meter, but making us get more turns more frequently. So I want to show you this team at the top first. It's going to be full auto. Mithrala is going to make sure we stay alive a little bit better, but to be honest, I would just go with the Coldheart team. So Coldheart is going to have a Phantom Touch awakening. She doesn't need Phantom Touch, but the shield is going to break extremely quick. To be honest, you guys don't really need to see this wave clear. I just decided to actually skip that run to the end. It was 4 minutes. You don't really need to watch that, to be honest. It was just a few times the Fire Knight got his turn back because my Newt wasn't decreasing his turn meter enough, and same thing with your Carl. We weren't taking enough turns. We weren't quite fast enough, but it did clear. We were at 0 times worried about actually surviving. So instead, what I want to show you is a team that I would actually probably run or be more likely to run, which is the one with Coldheart. And Coldheart, she's not a free champion because, I mean, she's not achievable in the game with, you know, just playing the game. You got to open shards for her. We've had, I think, some guaranteed events for her, but she is a champion that if you have her, really, she's going to be incredible for this. She's going to make this so much quicker. She has the enemy max HP hit. If you had 2 Newts, it's going to be quick as well, but then again, you should probably not be farming stage 6 if you had 2 Newts, but that's neither here nor there. So this team versus the Mithrala team is going to have a few more situations where you need to be tanky. I mean, if the waves are hitting you, if the waves are dealing damage to you, you could be in a spot where you may risk being killed. Which, speaking of, I need to actually make sure your Carl is using his A2 on the second wave because it steals turn meter, gives him more turns, and he can freeze the people. That's going to be really good if so. But I think I turned it off actually because I really want to make sure that he has the A2 available for the actual Fire Knight. It's not going to be a significant difference. Actually, it probably could be. Either way, we should be all right. We should clear this stuff pretty fast. If you have a different damage dealer, maybe you want to use a different champion besides your Carl, you want to throw in a Gwendolyn. You could throw her in. She does decrease speed, triple hitter A1, very good AoE skills if you build her to do damage. There's a lot of different possibilities you have with this team if you're using just the core of the fusion champion, increased speed, speed aura in all battles. You have Newt for the decreased turn meter on this Fire Knight, the big enemy max HP hits. You have Lanathril for the ally attack. The fusion champion's not going to die here either. She's going to get down to 1 HP, and then she's just going to boost back up. I kind of hope actually she does get down to low HP. That's going to be fine. If she does, then hey, guess what? She's going to block her revive, block her death essentially. She's going to save herself, and then she's going to boost back up. So now we're about to be at the boss. You're going to see how smoothly this goes. Hopefully you're going to see how smooth it goes. And just remember, if you had Phantom Touch on this champion, the shield's going to break even faster because each time she hits, it's a chance of doing an extra hit from Phantom Touch. So like 1 turn in the shield right now, Coldheart would be doing Heartseeker at this point. Unfortunately, she just used her A1, not a huge deal, but had that been a Phantom Touch, even a single Phantom Touch proc, boom, it would have been Heartseeker right off the bat. And now Blessed Bash from Newt, we're already under 50% HP, and at this point, it's hopefully going to be fairly smooth sailing from here on out. She's going to hopefully get the increased speed back up very soon. She is in Relentless Gear, so she should get a few extra turns every now and then. We got a decreased cooldown from Newt. Very cool. My Coldheart's not in Reflex Gear. She could be in Reflex. She could be in different sets to actually get back to her Heartseeker even quicker. But essentially, I mean, this is going to be an under 3-minute run. It's a pretty good time, in my opinion. You could throw in a champion like Fireknight. Fireknight would be great here because he has a decreased defense on his A1 ability. So you'd have harder A1 abilities from all these champions. And now we go ahead and finish it off. 2 minutes and 37 seconds. I'm really not complaining about that whatsoever. That's a pretty solid time. Stage 6 Fire Knight. If you're looking to get some more gear for Fire Knight, hey, this could be an excellent option for you. And while I prefer to do stage 10, stage 6 isn't significantly different. It is, of course, better to do stage 10 if you're able to, but it's not the end of the world if you can't. So as far as my builds go, let me show you from the preset page. It's going to be a little bit easier because it will show my Fire Knight bonuses. You do not have to hit these stats by no means. These are not what is required whatsoever, and you can mix these teams up quite a bit. Essentially, what I want to show you is that this champion currently with no awakenings is performing very well. If you get it a 5-star awakening, all the extra chances from Phantom Touch, she's going to be even smoother. So she's at 270. She is currently in Relentless Gear. For presets, she's like this. Lanathril, like this. He's 300 speed. Doesn't have to be that fast. Does not have to be that fast whatsoever. I promise. He'll be perfectly fine if he's not that fast. Your Carl is 221. He's in, I believe, Savage. Newt is built very well for my account. He's in Savage. He has way more accuracy than he would ever need. For this stage, you just need the accuracy to reduce turn meter for Fire Knight, place the freeze, whatever. This is for stage 10 hard. And then my Coldheart at the very bottom, she's 269. Once again, all these are basically built for stage 10 hard. They're just using this team for an example. So as far as the actual builds of these champions go, I don't want you guys to get too caught up on this being a guide for Fireknight with this champion, because there's better options. There's 100% better teams with this champion to be faster. You probably have better options on your account, make it faster, more consistent, and everything. But this is just to show you, if I was able to throw a team together this quickly with free champions only, that you will also be able to get a team for Fireknight, most likely, using these champions, or using similar champions, using similar strategies. So there's Coldheart, and here's the fusion champion. So we have Relentless plus some Cruel Gear. She does decent damage. I actually didn't pay attention to how much damage she actually dealt. I don't have her built for damage, so it may not even be a good showcase. She is fully booked, but her damage, I mean, it's going to be good, but she's really just there to break the shield. You could push more damage on her. Her multipliers look to be pretty decent, but ultimately, she's not going to be the main focus of damage. You could even throw some like Cruelty on her. Cruelty Blessing, you could throw that on her, no problem. Decrease the actual defense of the Fireknight. There's so many different things you could do as far as blessings go. I believe this champion, if you're out there looking for a champion, looking for some progression on Fireknight, I think this champion could be a very wise investment for you to go ahead and pick up in the fusion. Honestly, I typically recommend players, if you're able to go for a fusion, go for the fusion. This is the test server, obviously. I have 2,000 ancient shards. But if you're able to go for the fusion, guys, I guess determine that on your own. Determine if it's worth your resources, if you need the help in Fireknight, if you maybe need the help in future City of Centranos, Curse City stuff, you may need the help there. Curse City, Clan Boss, and Fireknight. I think are going to be her main focuses, where she's going to be the best. Normal and hard mode Fireknight. I'm just doing hard mode because it's more relevant, but normal mode is going to be the exact same thing. She's going to break it even quicker, though the breaking of the shield on normal is not as significant because it's really not as difficult to break the shield on normal mode, whereas hard mode, it's a pretty big issue. She doesn't bring anything that's like super amazing for Fireknight specifically outside of the multi-hitters, the increased speed. She doesn't bring like the freeze or the decreased turn meter. She does increase her own turn meter, which is nice. But either way, guys, take that for what you may. Let me know what other videos you'd like to see on this champion, if you want to see any other areas her being tested, or any of the other new champions with the Monster Hunter collab. So guys, with that said, thank you all very much for watching. Thank you to Plarium for giving me access to the test server, and I'll catch you all in the next video.